Hi, welcome to Mr. Nino G75's very first professional cooking video. So I'm going to make you polpette, which is meatballs. This is my Nonna's recipe and it's the way we make them. Hopefully you'll like it and try it and we'll see what we get to. So first job first, we're going to make the meatballs. So we need 400 grams of lean pork mince. We have 750 grams of beef mince. We're going to need some fresh eggs, some garlic. I'm using 4 cloves of garlic, and some salt, some pepper, and breadcrumbs. And that's what we need to make the meatballs, which we're going to show you how to do now. So first job, get the meat open. And we're going to put this in this big glass bowl. So that's the beef mince going in, like that. And then we're going to add in the pork mince. And just whack all that in there like that. So I'm going to take my garlic, cut the ends off it, take the skin off it. This used to be an absolute disaster. We've done this on live stream a few times and it was just painful because this is our homegrown garlic. So it's a bit tricky, but someone kindly sent us in a garlic peeler, which is a great piece of kit. So I've got my garlic, put it in there, just give it a little bit of a roll, and the garlic comes out, peels. So we're going to chop the garlic, cut the garlic up into little pieces. I like garlic, so I'm not too fussed if they're a bit bigger or a bit smaller than normal. Get these chopped up. And that's your garlic, which you just truck straight in with the meatballs. So we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. So this is this Cornish salt that Kaz has. So salt in there. Again, salt and pepper to taste. And then new pepper. We're going to pepper it as well. And there's the pepper. So with clean hands, which I have just washed, Kaz even witnessed it, I'm just going to get straight in there and I'm going to mash this all up together. Mixing the pork mince with the beef mince, the garlic, salt and the pepper, so you just get a nice even mixture. I advise you take it out of the fridge first because it's absolutely freezing. Done. So I've got some nice lovely golden yolk eggs. Any eggs will do. And I'm going to break one into there. In fact, with this much meat, I might actually put 2. And then this is the absolute worst bit for me because I'm not that keen on it. I've got to give it another good mix. And it will be proper watery. Kaz is smiling up behind the camera here like I'm some sort of Gordon Ramsay. Is that what you're doing? You can say yes, you know. You can speak. And it feels awful. It feels like cold snails, to be quite honest. But most of the egg does disappear, just is a little bit slimy. And get it squeezed through your fingers so that egg runs through the whole mixture. And there you go, you can see it starting to, I don't know if you can see that, camera lady. You can see it starting to bind together nicely. So there's no egg left really at all now. And the final stage for meatballs is I'm going to put some breadcrumbs in, which again just helps to bind it and soaks up any of that excess egg that isn't already mixed in there. It's really hard to judge how many breadcrumbs you put in. You've just got to kind of get it to the point where you get a decent like ball and it's sticking together. It's hard. I don't know how to explain it, but I would add less, try it, and then add a bit more. But I think maybe a little smidgen more in there. I would say that's pretty much done. So making the actual meatballs, again, I really don't know how much you use. I just use a handful and I've done it that many times. I know, I'm guessing, I mean, I'll make one and we'll try and get a comparison size. So you just grab a pinch of it in your hand, So I'd say the golf ball size balls are for meatballs. Roll it into a ball, and then you just kind of put a bit of pressure on and flatten it out. And there's your meatball. So the next bit, we're just going to get the stuff chopped up for the sauce. We've already cut up 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. I always use red onions personally. White onions are really the best. That's what you always get in Italy, but just get the rest of this out here off. So I'm going to cut that in half, and then I normally do little chunks, but for this I kind of like thin slices, so I just cut it in half right down the middle and then slice it. Oh, nearly take my fingers off. So next thing I always add in everything I eat is mushrooms. So you just cut these up. I'm going to do them in quarters depending on the size because I want chunks. And then that's everything prepped up for the sauce that the meatballs are going to cook in. So the sauce that this cooks in is really, really simple. All I'm putting in it is some red onions, the garlic that you've seen. I've got some chopped tomatoes, some passata, salt and pepper, and probably a little bit of basil. And now we can get cooking. So the next stage, we're going to cook the meatballs. So you pre-cook your meatballs, just fry them off. And then I'm going to use all the oil that I've cut the meatballs in to go in the big pan to make the sauce, which the meatballs will then go in and stew down for a couple of hours. So I need the obligatory glug of olive oil, but actually I need quite a bit of olive oil because you almost want to shallow fry them. Get the heat going. And get a plate to put the cooked meatballs on, because obviously you can't have cooked and raw in the same place, especially not on YouTube. And we'll get these going. So I'm just going to layer the bottom of the pan with the meatballs. It'll take 2 hits to do this. And I'm just going to let them fry on each side until they've just browned off a little bit. We'll get another one in there just for good measure. And there we go. Got it on a high heat. Like I said, I just want to brown them off. So these have been cooking away for a couple of seconds, not too long. I said I don't want to go too overboard. I just want to get them browned off because they're going to cook in the actual sauce. These probably aren't quite ready to serve yet, but like you can see, they're being shallow fried because I just want them to cook around the edges. Okay, so we're just going to flip these over, which isn't always the most delicate thing. They've got a little bit of brown to them. You can cook them for longer. I may, flip these back over. So annoying. So that's the first batch done. So I'm just going to take them out and put them on a plate, and then we'll get the second ones in, and then we can get on with making the sauce. And there we have our cooked meatballs. And if you look in the pan, you can see that the oil has just got loads of meaty flavour in it from cooking the meatballs. So I'll use that now to cook the pasta sauce. So we're just going to put them to one side. And now we're going to cook the pasta sauce, or the meat sauce, or in fact, the tomato sauce. I'll get it right third time. Let's get that done. Right, so we're going to make the basic tomato sauce. So you can see in the pan, I've got the remnants from the frying pan. I am going to put a little bit more oil in there because I don't think you can have too much olive oil. Get it on a nice high heat. And the first thing that's going to go in is the onion. And we're just going to fry that off for a minute or 2 in the pan. So we're giving it a nice stir. The smell is fantastic. All I can smell is meat and onions. So we sweated down and fried off our onions a little bit. I'm just going to add the garlic. Be really careful with the garlic. It's a bugger because it does burn really quickly. So I want to get that in there. Just give that a quick stir around, just so it gets coated in the oil. I'm going to turn it down a teeny bit, and then I'm going to chop my mushrooms in. The mushrooms will soak up the oil and they'll stop the garlic burning so much. So that's cooked as much as I really want it to. Some people like it more, some less, I think. And I'm going to chuck in 2 passatas.
What's passata?
Sieved tomatoes. But you don't have to use passata. You can just use canned tomatoes, chopped tomatoes, whatever tomatoes you want. You can spill it all over the side, like so. And then I'm also going to throw in a can of chopped tomatoes because I want this to be quite liquidy. I'm going to add in some salt and pepper. Salt and this awful pepper grinder, which we just bought, which is horrendous. I'm going to chuck the basil in. And then I'm going to put the meatballs and all the juice that's come off, and look at all that lovely flavour that's coming off these. I'm going to give those a little stir around. Now, because I cook it for a long time on a simmer, I need more liquid. So take your tomato cans and your passata cans, fill them with a little bit of water. I'll show you one, and then chuck it in. So I've got this kind of about half full of water. I've smushed it around. So I get all the tomato juice off the inside and chuck that in. I'm going to do that with the other two as well. So that's the meatballs done, prepped and on to cook. If you have a look in the pot, you can see it is quite watery, but that's intentional. Like I said, I'm going to put it on probably 5, 4, something like that. And I'm going to put the lid on it to start with till it comes up to a boil. And then when it starts boiling, I'm just going to gently give a bit of a gap on the lid, turn it down and simmer it until the sauce is as thick as I want it. And it's going to end up looking like... So 3 hours later, maybe 2.5 hours later, the sauce is finished. And I've left it quite thick, well, quite saucy, excuse me, because I want to make sure I've got plenty of lovely sauce to enjoy with my meatballs and my pasta. So we're going to cook some pasta. Got some pappardelle today. Please buy good pasta. And I'll see you in a second, we'll show you the final product. So we're having pappardelle, like I said, it was cooked, the sauce goes in with the pappardelle, meatballs on the top, you can have them separate, and this is the final product. And that's the end of the first proper cooking video. It was good fun doing it, a little bit stressful. There was issues here and there and everywhere, so hopefully you'll like it. If you do like it, let me know. If you don't like it, or there's something I need to get better on, let me know. Try not to be too harsh. And if you fancy seeing some more of these, keep tuning in because I'll keep making some more. I appreciate you watching it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you the next time that I'm cooking. Ciao for now.